How did I get these 12 vehicles to be able to get onto my fleet, and what was the exact game plan to scale a car rental biz and be a host on the Turo platform and leverage this using my personal credit? I get this question a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people are always asking, how'd you do it? Did you use business? Did you use personal credit? And let me just get this straight. This is not financial advice. I don't advise you guys to do this. I'm just kind of telling you guys my experience. And if you're willing to do it, willing to take the risk, in business, there's going to be a risk anyways, right? I think those that take the biggest risk, they really get the biggest reward long term. Obviously, there's wisdom behind it. There's calculated risk. Everybody has a threshold of risk that they want to take. Let me break it down to you guys in this video. So I literally just went in this kind of almost blindsided, right? Like I didn't know too much about credit. I just knew the basics. And also I don't really know too much about like how the loans work, how car dealerships work, how the sales process work, going from the salesperson to the finance manager and everything. And obviously all the stuff I'm looking at online and all the information, I could have done this run a little bit different. And yes, it was one of those runs, getting these vehicles, 12 vehicles in 45 days. And personally, right, I had my partner do it too, so we have over 20 plus vehicles listed on the Turo platform. But how did I do it? Obviously, I saw how he did it, asked him some questions, and he just kind of went all out too and did it his own run. But I think the quickest way that I learned was through experience, and I didn't have enough time to do my research and wait. When it comes down to a lot of opportunities, and I thought about it, I was like, do I want to do it right now or do I want to wait? And the thing is, I'm not here to wait forever. And this is why I ask you guys, like, there's going to be risk involved in any business. But the question is, how big of a risk tolerance or how small is your risk tolerance? Mine, I said, I'm just willing to do it. I trust God. I'm just going to go all out. The business model makes sense. It made money. And I probably could have got better deals, probably found better vehicles. But this is what I have for now, and I'm willing to run with it. I'm willing to build off it, and there's really no turning back. And I think if you have that mindset that no matter what, nothing's going to stop you, you'll eventually get to the point where you're going to learn a lot, like just like me, putting out a lot of money out, learning about the vehicles, learning about insurance, knowing, like I said, the whole sales process, whether I should go to dealerships or not. I'm just going to give you guys a quick breakdown. Any questions, I'll probably make separate videos around this, but I want to kind of give you guys my journey on how I was able to do this. And yes, it was not business. I did this all through my personal. So I just have money. I have funds to back it up that I was actually making the money that I was reporting on there, right? And I got approved. But also I could have probably got better rates on my loans. I could have been a lot more wiser with how I did it, but it is what it is. I think the best way to learn is through your own mistakes, your own experiences. But also there's things out there where people are like, well, you can learn from other people's mistakes. That's wisdom, which is true. I could have learned that way. I learned the hard way myself. And a lot of people are probably going to ask, like, RC, do you feel like you've over leveraged yourself, especially in this market? Like, did you time the market right? Yeah, I might be a bit over leveraged in the big scheme of it. But to be honest, I trust God. Like I said, there's going to be some people that say you're over leveraged, and there's other people that are going to say, hey, you're exactly where you're at. I mean, you got to risk it for the biscuit. Like, risk always reaps rewards if you're willing to push through, and my reasons are what reap results. I have bigger reasons than my current circumstance, and I think this is the mindset a lot of us need to adapt when we go and build a business, to say no matter what, I'm willing to make it work out. I'm willing to show up, but also I'm willing to take the L's on certain days or situations just to get back up. There's a saying, it's not how many times that you fall, it's the ability for you to get back up again. And I really think business is big on mindset. They say this 80% mindset, 20% how-tos. And I took this, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like ignorance on fire, right? Like, I don't want to call myself ignorant, but it's like you're just on fire to just take action. And I think that's what stops a lot of people from just growth in general, is a lack of action. And I wanted to just build momentum in my life. And I'm the kind of person that I kind of work better under pressure. I actually enjoy pressure. It pushes me to work hard. It doesn't allow me to just sit back, chill out, right? Like, I'm actually push to move. And I think everyone works different, everyone operates different. And then there's another thing where it's like, yo, is this the right time in the market with everything going on? Look who the president is, look inflation, look at the gas prices going up, everything's kind of like looking like it's about to tear down. Are we going to have another housing market crash? Like I said, I trust God, but I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect time in the market. Whenever people predicted stuff about the market, it's not exactly what it was. So I wasn't going to lose out, and that's why I said, like, people are talking about, well, look at real estate, look at crypto, look at the blockchain and all the different portfolio stocks. People are always going to have excuses or reasonings or opinions based on emotion. And I said, well, emotionally, I'm ready to take whatever it's going to take, and I'm documenting my journey here. So let's get into it quickly. I'm just going to give you guys a quick blueprint on how I did it. So starting off, went to dealerships. My first one was I got my personal vehicle, which is the Lexus RC IS250. Went straight to Lexus. Lexus is probably one of the best dealerships out there. I went to them. I told them to shoot only one place for my credit, which I love. They respected me. They did it. They had a connection at Chase. I got a loan through Chase. Boom, that deal got solidified, and that officially started my run. Got a really good interest rate, very low, and from there, that started my run, because in 45 days it was going to get reported on my account. So I started with Chase, boom, with them. And I went through a lot of different battles. Now the battle was finding the cars, right? Finding the cars all around, checking them out, making sure they're good, and then figuring out, is that dealership shady, right? Are they gonna be the one to run my credit, or should I do the move where I use the checks that I'm already approved for? So I got approved for Navy Fed. I already got a pre-approved, and I was shooting for all different types of banks. So that was another thing. So it was finding the vehicle and then going out there and getting approved for different type of banks. So I was shooting for Capital One, B of A. I was shooting for all these different loan places, and I wasn't getting approved fast enough. So I had to move. So within the first few weeks, I started just allowing the dealerships to shoot my credit, which is probably the worst things you can do, because they'll just shoot anywhere just to get you approved. I got 2 Nissans from Planet Nissan. I went out there. I went to Honda. I got another vehicle there, and I just had them shoot. They just shot everywhere, and until I got approved. And obviously, as I'm going out there and I'm getting my credit shot down, I'm getting drained. I'm in the dealerships. They're trying to sell me on all these extra packages. I meet the finance manager. I'm nervous because this is my first rodeo trying to do this. Sometimes a part of me felt like this was almost illegal, which it's not, because I did it and we went through it. And I just got loans. I got loans for everything. Went to BMW, got shot there. Boom, and it's interesting because I shot for B of A, but B of A didn't approve me. I went to BMW, and somehow BMW got approved from B of A, and vice versa. And it's an interesting thing how loans work, and how the dealerships have relationships with the loans, the loan companies, the people that are loading it, and the different banks. And that was it. That was kind of my run. The biggest takeaway that I learned is how the sales guys are. I mean, they're really just there to get the top dollar. And the finance manager, they sold me on Gap, and I heard a whole bunch of stuff on Gap, so don't even get me started on that. But I think everyone's different when it comes to getting Gap and all the different packages that they're selling on top of it, right? The finance managers. My first couple rounds with them, I took a lot of the packages, which I probably couldn't or shouldn't have, right? Because now that gets stacked on top of your loan. But yeah, I ran all around. I got pre-approved from only a couple banks, and I let the rest of the dealerships. I let the rest of the dealerships pretty much just run my credit. So yeah, I got a lot of inquiries, and I know credit people that can just get those taken off. It's not that hard, right? But now I'm pretty much stuck with a few $100,000 worth of loans, and it is what it is. It's the same thing as getting a house, except this thing pays me. It pays the vehicles, and who knows? Maybe the vehicles are going to be good in the next few years, or I might break even with just those vehicles when I sell them back and I started a business, started documenting the process. But that was everything. I actually got approved from 3 cars from CarMax, which was super cool because I love CarMax. If there's anybody out there that's going to buy a vehicle, CarMax is probably one of the best experiences I had based on every dealership. I went to tons of dealerships, turned down a lot, said no. Really, I felt like I was wasting my time at one point, but at the end of the day, it's not wasting time because I'm learning, right? But I needed to get cars quick, and I only could squeeze those 12 vehicles before cars were getting reported onto my credit. So CarMax, I got 3 cars from them, which is great. The only downside is I started getting higher percentages as each car was getting approved, and they were aware of that. They were cool, and I got financed all 3 directly from CarMax, which is very, very interesting. I got 2 cars from Carvana. I did back up Carvana at one point, but right now my experience has been like this with them. They did manage to get me my plates, which were cool, a couple months later for one of the vehicles. Now for my second vehicle, I'm waiting for those plates. I got a pretty good deal, like I said, with them. But overall, the rest came from individual dealerships. I ran into other dealerships where there was this one situation where they called another dealer because they saw that they were the ones that ran, and they asked, they're like, did this person run out, with the vehicle, all that, and that was a whole nother situation, which they rarely do that. Most dealerships wanna just sell you a car. I mean, but this dealership cared, so I can tell based on their brand, and it's a big dealership. This is not no like random company out there that's selling, just a small business owner. They are a huge company that did it. So I understand with the integrity and everything behind them. But that's what I did. So I ran my credit. Am I over leveraged? Do I have too many loans on my own name? Well, here's the thing. It's been almost 90 days, or a little over 90 days, I believe, and cars are getting paid. We're getting paid. Cars are getting rented. Thank God, because Vegas is just a hot market in general. We're always playing with pricing, but this is how it went. And that's what I did. I took the risk. And here's the thing. If you don't take risk in business in general, you're gonna have to risk something. A lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of focus, resources, right? And that could be financially. I have all these loans and all this stuff, and I'm just being straight up with everybody here because I think it's good to be transparent. And the question is this: did I over leverage myself? I personally don't. And if I keep thinking I over leverage myself, I'll keep focusing on feeling like I'm over leveraged, and it'll put me into this downward spiral, which I'm a pretty positive dude. So I always like to see the positive. I like to be practical and address the problems of the situations, but I like to always see the good and the positive in everything that I do. And I think that's what's going to allow a lot of us that are building great things, right, going to stick out. And I think one of the most of the successful people out there, they built off really having a strong mindset, and just like this mindset of just like, hey, I'm not quitting no matter what the circumstance looks like. And I just went to an event here in Vegas recently. I went to Elevator Night. Shout out Dan Fleischman. And I just got inspired just to hear all these guys at a high level to where they got. And I could tell they've all had reasons that reaped results. And I think that's it. Your reasons have to be greater than your circumstance to be able to reap those results. So, hey, any questions, you guys can let me know. I just love to share my journey. I am thinking about, kind of shifting things in the business, and we've been building a lot of systems. It's been great. We've finally gotten to the point where I'm not always like 100% in and running out here and there. We're starting to establish systems, and even building a business, it takes patience. It just reminds me of like the seed. You just plant the seed, water it, a couple years from now, it ends up being a tree, grows a stump, starts producing fruit. And that's how we should see business, right? We live in that type of instant gratification society. So yeah, I feel like, I got like a target on my back from like the loans, but at the end of it, if you're not taking risk in life, what's the point of to me, it's like, what's the point of like living? Like, I might as well. I got one shot at life. We got this one life to live, and if we do it right, like if I can do it right once is all I need. So I'm passionate about that stuff, and if you guys can just shift your focus, shift your mindset, get around the right people, listening to the right things, and literally just be around people that are actually living it. I think a lot of people have opinions nowadays, very, very strong opinions. And if I listen to everybody, family, friends, people in the market, I probably wouldn't have taken this move. There's something always with me, it's my relationship with God, but there's always this intuition inside, right, that the average person has, this gut feeling. Me, it was like, man, I really heard the voice of God. Just take the risk. Just do what you got to do. Take the leap of faith. Trust me. And as long as you move, God's like, yo, I'm going to move. So again, I just want to give you guys the blueprint. It was a fun run. I had really long early mornings, late nights. I bought, and also I had to go to the DMV 3 to 4. I was almost going to go a 4th time, but they let me do it online for those last 2 vehicles. So I went about 3 times. But I've went multiple times and I got denied because they were just closing and all this stuff. So I paid all those fees up front. We got everything settled. I am looking for fleet insurance companies now. So if anyone knows about that, and I'm just really trying to build this from the ground up, looking for information. I did it. And I did it by these 3 things, and I'll probably share with you guys that video. But it's these 3 things. It's 1, say yes. 2, tell the world. So like just, hold yourself accountable to the world. And then 3, figure it out. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just figuring out the journey day by day through the processes, building the systems, laying down the foundation. Now I have to learn about insurance, and one of my cars just got total lost. I'm going to do another video on that and just kind of see how that works out and explain the gap and what I'm going through. I think documenting your process makes it authentic, makes it awesome, real, and shows you guys like, hey, yo, there might be some downs, but there's some really high highs that can cover the low lows as long as you can just push through. Because if you can keep pushing through, you're going to get a breakthrough. Y'all take care. Let me know if you guys enjoy this stuff. Like I said, any questions, drop them below. I love to document, answer some questions, and feel free. Be blessed, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
I'm so free, I got no chains running through the wall. Heaven got a playlist. I promise that's my favorite placement. Faithful lover famous. Yeah, faithful lover famous. Tell them I'm so free, I got no chains on me. I'm so free, I got no chains.